Pew, also a rabbi, and we're coming from the beach down to down here in southern Florida, and we're doing this video from the beach this time. Jesus preached at the Sea of Galilee. I'm down here in southern Florida at the ocean front doing this one. And the passage I'm going to read today is from Matthew chapter 12, and it's from 43 to 45, and it goes, when an unclean spirit goes out of a man, he goes through dry places, seeking rest, and finds none. Then he says, I will return to my house from which I came. And when he comes, he finds it empty, swept, and put in order. Then he goes and takes with him 7 other spirits more wicked than himself, and they enter and dwell there, and the last state of that man, is worse than the first. So shall it also be with this wicked generation. Well, my message is entitled, The Return of the Unclean Spirits. And this story tells it on 2 levels, where this country is in the same situation. It gives us a fearful glimpse of the peril of a demon possession. A disembodied demon is restless. It wanders in dry places, places devoid of human habitation. The restless spirit soon tires of haunting old ruins and decides to go back and replaces the human victim from whose body it had then been expelled from. In the same way it's happening to America today. The demon finds the person has been cleaned up in his life, so he gets 7 more demons worse than him to join him, and the host is in far worse bondage than before. This country is in far worse bondage than it was ever before in its history. The same thing has happened to us. There was a time this country was a God-fearing nation from the end of World War II until the beginning of the early 60s. In the early 60s, America has been on a sheer sheet of ice sliding for a great fall. It started with the removing of God by banning of prayer in our public school systems. When they started that was the beginning of the out of the Lord. Then into the music with hard acid rock groups, and then the drug scene. Then she followed after the god of Moloch, the god of Satan, issuing in gay rights, allowing men to live with men and women with women, and now under the same God to change boys into girls and girls into boys, and for girls to have an abortion without parents' consent. This is an abomination. This should never have been allowed, but here we are. And through the same God of Moloch, more than 6 million children die and are still dying through abortion. Women, don't you know that your body belongs to your husband if you are married and his to yours? This is an atrocity. Don't you care what's happening? And it goes on and on and on. One can only solve a spiritual problem with a spiritual answer. It began when America turned from God of its foundation and emptied itself of its presence. So it can only be unclean, and the answer only came if America returned to God of its departing and received back his presence into every void and hollow of its absence. This is the only thing we can do. Each and every one of us has to get down on our knees and ask God's forgiveness. If we don't, we're on the way to hell and destruction. And this country is on its way out. Period. It was a mass departure, so it must be on a level by a mass return. It can only be answered by a social, cultural, and civilization return. Awakening and revival of this is the only way that can be done. We must humble ourselves before God, turn from our darkness, and seek His presence and mercy. If my people, who are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. This is the only way we can do it. This is the only way it can be done. We have to return back to the Lord and humble ourselves and ask His holy forgiveness. Otherwise, we're all done. Revival is not an option. It's the only thing. Without revival, America as we know it will be lost. Without revival, America will in the end go to judgment or worse, be consigned to an irreversible state of darkness, into a possession of grass only, who knows who. Without God, not only our nation lasts and is judged, but each of us is judged also. And without God, and each become an empty house. And also, with the rainbow situation, our president took a former president lit the White House up as a rainbow, taking and making a disgrace of this country by associating with the Rainbow Organization. And in the end, he took the rainbow flag, their emblem of their organization, hung it up, and instead of hanging the American flag in a place of honor, he put one on each side of it, and that and disgrace. It should have never happened. This country is in sad, sorry state, and I just pray to the Lord that this country will turn and ask forgiveness. And I just pray in humble worship that everyone in this country will get on their knees and turn to the Lord and ask for His humble grace and mercy. And I just humbly pray and ask. In Yeshua's precious holy name, amen.